so what happened was when I went back to school, we got out of school that day. The dude did the same exact thing. He tried to walk up on me, and I just stole him. I just started swinging. I just was swinging. And after that day, I didn't have a problem.
Right.
And so what happened was I continued to train with my cousin Sonny Boy during the weekend on how to fight. And so when I started to come over to my aunt's house during the weekend, now mind you, at this particular time, we don't move from Call Place. We don't move from the Eastgate area. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because in that area, I want you to get what I'm saying. My whole family grew up in that area, so I didn't have to fight like that. It was just everybody knew each other. Everybody parents knew each other. You got into a fight, you know what I'm saying? Somebody come knock on your door, man, your son was fighting my son, blah, 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 and it was squash.
Right.
Now, mind you, my mother moves from out of Call Place, Eastgate area, and she moves over to Congress Park. Total different ball game. Total different ball game. We didn't know nobody in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? See, me and my brother, we was used to coming outside. What we would do, we would come outside. You know, when we were living in our old neighborhood, we'll just come outside on the front. We'll just play, bring our toys out. You couldn't do that in Congress Park. Okay. Congress Park, man, you know, man, it was, man, boy, I remember when we came from our Congress Park, when we first started coming outside, like the first week we didn't go outside. You know what I'm saying? We would just be looking out the window watching the kids play. So, you know, just getting our, you know, getting the feel for the hood. Mm-hmm. Man, we come outside to play, man, the whole goddamn neighborhood. It was just like, we got some new meat. You know what I'm saying? It was like, we got some new meat. Who these dudes is, man? You know what I'm saying? They coming out trying to take our toys, smacking our head. Man, it was just rough. And so when my mother began to teach us, now that at that time I had my fighting skills. You know, I think we moved around Congress Park like 83, 84. And by that time, like I say, I was already working with my cousin. He was teaching me how to box, so I had my fighting skills. And so, you know, growing up in Congress Park, it was rough. I'm talking about like it was rough, man. I mean, like, you would see people get killed right in front of you. I mean, you were saying ladies have sex with dogs. You were saying robberies. You were saying shootouts. You were saying niggas fight the police. Stuff that I never, ever experienced. It was just like, wow, like. And so what we basically did was how we became cool with the guys in the neighborhood is when my mom's transferred us to Malcolm X Elementary. Okay. So when we got to Malcolm X Elementary, not only do you got the kids from Congress Park, you got the kids from 15 Place, you got the kids from Waller Place, you got the kids from Savannah Terrace and the surrounding neighborhoods in that school. So what basically happened was that Congress Park stuck together as one. And what we found out, me and my brother found out, is that they had the young crew, so we was like trying to fit in. We was like, look, we from Congress Park, like what's up? Like we from here. And so we started to build relationship. Now, mind you, this is what I try to explain to you. My father's reputation was, I didn't even know that my father even hung out on that side of Southeast. You know, you got two sides of Southeast. Right. One side of Southeast is over there at Capitol Hill. Then you got the real grimy, dirty hood part of Southeast. And that's where Congress Park was at. And so what happened was one day, I remember this, man, we was my cousins and the man came over there. My cousins from Bay Street that lived on the same street where my dad lived at. They came over to my hood. My cousins TJ Flicks, Terrell, and all of them, all us came on. It was about maybe 5, 6 of us. And we walked up from, listen, I was in Congress Park. We come from out of the house. We walked up to the playground because they wanted to play. We go up there, and man, we were surrounded by the young crew. Now, mind you, I'm sitting there like, I'm looking at the dudes like, these my cousins, they don't want to hear that shit. These niggas ready to take some tennis shoes. They ready to, rough you off and, take you for bad. And what happened was
on the bus in my drawers and t-shirt. So I know. Go ahead, sorry to disturb you, but I know about that Yum Yum crew.
Hey, look, my dad come riding down the street. I didn't even see him. He saw me. My father came down, and during that time, my father had a black Jaguar. I didn't even know what a Jaguar was. All I knew was that the Equalizer, the TV show The Equalizer at that time, the guy drove a Jaguar. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know there was an expensive car. I didn't know nothing. All I knew, it was a black car, but he had tan leathers in it. And so he come down the street. He was with a girl at the time, and he saw us. He saw me, and he said, "Hey, come here." And I walked over to him, and they said, "Wayne, this your son?" They said, "Yeah." And then, like I say, my father's reputation. And from that day, I ain't had no problem out of nobody in Congress Park because they knew that was my dad. Now, mind you, my father was running the strip over 15th Street. 15th and Mass, 15th and Independence. But then he was running 15th Place at the same time. Over there, I had no clue my dad even was on that side of the bridge when we moved over there. He just so happened to ride through my neighborhood that particular day. And then I started really saying my dad. And so what I'm saying to you is that to bring it all together with me and my cousins, with me learning how to fight, and we were jumping people in Congress Park. We had a thing where on the weekend, every weekend, Friday, Saturday night, especially Friday, they'll get the whole neighborhood together. It'll be like 50, 60 kids. We going out Martin Luther King. Anybody we see, you know what I'm saying? We had dudes like Juggy. We had dude Inkadink. That was my man, Inkadink. Man, whatever he told us to do, we did. You know what I'm saying? They had a highs down there. They had a highs down on Martin Luther King. We would go in that joint. We'd go in that joint. He tell us to go in there and snatch something. We snatched it. We cleaned the shelf out of that joint, whatever we did. So we learned the fighting skills while we was in the hood. So when we came over to my aunt neighborhood, you understand what I'm saying? I was like, it was cupcake to me. It was more easier to me because I'm actually bringing the projects mentality over into an area where it's more like suburban in a sense. It's suburban in a sense. A residential area until I really got to know it. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, the baddest dude in our hood was who? A-Say. A-Say was the man. You feel what I'm saying? And so what happened was my dad eventually gets locked up for a gun charge. Mind you, he goes in. A-Say and them little mob, Donnie and Elwin and all them, they take over 15th Street. But the thing is, they respected my dad. My father and A-Say dad hung out together. They was close. So A-Say took me right under his wing.
And what year was this?
What was this? 86?
Okay.
Yeah, 86. 86, man. And so that's when we begin to start building the foundation of being a crew at that particular time. Because now, with my father running 15th Street and he gone now you got the other younger generation at that particular time. But these the older guys. They older than me. They took over the street, but they took me under their wing. You understand what I'm saying? I wasn't selling drugs at the time. They was just looking out for me, telling me to stay out of trouble, giving me money. You know what I'm saying? Giving me, just looking out for me, making sure I went to school and things like that or whatever. And so what happened was, when we started going to the Go-Go's, going up to Payne to see Junkyard and going down Holy Comforter, we started getting in these beefs. You know what I'm saying? Because we 15th Street. You feel what I'm saying? So now we look, we 15th Street, we the youngest group, we trying to get our name. What we basically doing is we getting ready to fight the dudes from Kentucky Courts, the Gardens, 1000, capers and stuff like that.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? So now it's like, I'm looking at this like, nah, I'm not letting them dudes come up here and disrespect us or take anything from us or do anything. This is when we was just fighting. And so basically, you know, on the weekends, this was the thing. The weekend was like this. When we went over on the weekend to my aunt Bet's house, we would go over there, and the tone was like this. My cousin Flick, which is Bet's son, and TJ, which was her grandson, they stayed in the same household. Rennie as well stayed in the same household. So what we basically was doing was like, look, when I came over on the weekend, because I was the fighter, they would say, hey, Kojack, this dude did this in school to me. This dude said this to me or that to me. And I was the one that did the fighting for Flick and TJ. Flick and TJ was scared in their own neighborhood. Let's get that real. Before they became who they were,
right,
they were scared in their own neighborhood. They were scared to really come off the block. They was really coming off the block during the weekend when me and my brother and Terrell came around on the weekend. When us three came over on the weekend, we went at whoever. We didn't care who it was.
Now, at this time, I want you to keep that thought, but at this time, when I came up in the streets, in that same era, right? When I came up on your side of the block, I come up under Rennie, your oldest cousin, one of your oldest cousins.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to tell me about Terrell and the rest, but I want you to bring in there slowly, how did Rennie reputation, are we already got it established that your father reputation carry weight? But when I came in the game and was on your side, my OG and protector on that side was your older cousin Reggie. So get back to you and your three cousins come over there. Y'all get the 411 and y'all go whoop ass anywhere that they fuck with your cousins. But I do want you to touch on how Rennie come into play to be the, I'm gonna say leader of the pack of y'all crew, but everybody had individual thinking minds. But if I had a problem with you, I would go to Rennie to say, man, can you tell Lamont to stop messing with me? Because in my coming up, he was the figure on that side. But I want you to get back to when you and your cousins come over, TJ and give you the hoop. Now where would you have to go to whoop some ass when they pointed him out?
Sometimes we went to kids' houses. Sometimes we away from.
You ain't knock on no doors, man.
We knocked on some doors, man. We did. We did like Flick. Like now, mind you, now Flick will get them to come outside.
Okay.
Like one of them, or they'll get a friend or somebody that they probably didn't suspect to get them to come outside, or we'll catch them at the playground. And as things, I mean, sometimes I will leave school early. They'll call me and be like, Jack, man, this went down. They called me on a Thursday or maybe early in that week. This happened, that blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, okay, all right, I'm going to hook school. I'm going to leave school at 6th period or 5th period.
Now, what grade was you in?
6th grade, 7th grade. You know, around that time, I would leave. I really didn't play by my family. I took it to heart to protect them. Like what I really thought that I was doing at that time was protecting them. Not knowing that it would eventually backfire, but I was protecting them. That same protection that I was doing is the same thing my mom's did. My mom's was the fighter of her generation. She was the one that was protecting the family in her generation.
Okay.
My mom was like a tomboy.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? But I took on that mantle not even knowing. Like I said, I got tired of this dude fucking stealing me every motherfucking day. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? And so fighting was the thing that we did. We began to build a reputation where if you messed with one, you had to see us all. You had to see us all. That's where it came down to. And we jumped. And I fought. Now, listen to what I say to you. We fought one-on-one. I fought a lot of guys one-on-one. I don't want you to think I was one of them dudes that when we got into a fight, we just jumped them, and that's how we got the advantage on them or the disadvantage on them. Nah, a lot of times it was a one-on-one fight. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
I could fight one-on-one. I had no issues or no problems with fighting one-on-one. But there were times that we did jump people. I'm not going to sit there and disqualify that as well. We did do that. Those were things that we did. Now, with Rennie, I admired Rennie when I was younger because Rennie was older. Now, mind you, all of us, I mean, you got Rennie as the oldest, Rennie, TJ. I'm saying all of this in order. Mm-hmm. Rennie, TJ, me, Flick, Terrell, Wham. Then you have my cousin Binky sometimes coming over on the weekend. All of us are right behind each other in age. But Rennie, I think Rennie is maybe 5 or 6 years older than TJ, if I'm not mistaken. He could be
50.
It could be 7, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? Because TJ is a year older than me. I'm 45 right now. TJ 46. But to make a long story short, when we got into them beefs during the weekend, the beefs during the weekend that and like I said, I didn't start these beef. These were things that people was doing to Flick and TJ. And I just came over and, cleaned it up. We're fighting. Mm-hmm. But, and I told you our beef was with Kentucky courts and the Gardens, and Kentucky courts and the Gardens was like, they were family. Mm-hmm. They was like one. Even though they was 2 different hoods, they both were one. So with me fighting Lil Coy brother, Carlos was the leader. Carlos, I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Carlos was a fly young dude, man. I respected him, and I used to fight him all the time. I used to fight Carlos all the time. And Carlos was like the little leader of the Gardens. You had little Marcus. You had I can't even think of my man Ron. Yeah, Ron. My man Ron. I forgot it's a couple of other ones. There was a lot of them too.
Yeah, Ron.
Yeah,
come from 16th, 15th, and D, 16th and D, but the Gardens merged with a lot of those hoods. As again, that's why I want you to iterate on Rennie, because everybody gave into the Gardens but 15th in Massachusetts in Independence. And during that time, everybody knew who was the big dog, who you had to go see up there. And it was really because of all y'all, because we knew about 100 of y'all. We knew, shit, Rennie put the dogs on you. It's about 30 of them coming, right? So we definitely was scared of y'all up there, myself included. That's why I had to get myself aligned with Rennie. So that's what I wanted to talk about, because y'all didn't give in. What made y'all so special? What made y'all click so special that when the Gardens started going around and everybody started to click up with the Gardens, what made y'all not say, we'll go down there, but we ain't repping no Gardens nowhere. We 15th Street.
Like I say, Ace, man. Ace, Mo, Donnie, and they gave us they gave us the backing, man. Like we was our own crew, and we knew Ace reputation. Nobody wanted to get in Ace way. You understand what I'm saying? So to bring it into perspective, Rennie being the older one, Rennie really had the relationships like with a person like you. He had the relationship with A-Say. You understand what I'm saying? I remember a couple of times Rennie took me down the gardens out there. I don't foot a couple of them. And they want to fuck me up. They want to get at me, but they like, he with Rennie, but they giving me the looks. You know what I'm saying? They mugging on me. And so, you know, when I was that young, I was admiring Rennie because people were looking up to Rennie, and Rennie had really begun to come into his own.
Now, did he remind you of your father's reputation?
Nah.
When you looked up to him?
No.
Or you just looked at him as an individual or all of his own?
He was my cousin.
Okay.
I looked at him as my cousin, you know?
Okay.
It's like, we family.
Okay.
And the thing that now I want you to get this. What he did for me, I did for him. It's an even scale.
Okay.
It wasn't like he was this big person. I looked at him, he's my cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like, he asked me to fight somebody. I did it. It was done. If I asked him to step in or he stepped in and squashed the beef, it was squashed. Based on his reputation and my reputation did what it did on my end when it came to fighting. So it was kind of like an equal thing. Even though I looked up to Rennie, I also was like, at the time, and I think all of us went through this particular process of looking at Rennie as a father figure. But as we got older, we started seeing things differently. We started experiencing life differently as we begin to come into our own or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But Rennie basically took the mantle of 15th Street once A-Say went in. Once Black Mo and Donnie and all of them started getting locked up. You got I forgot Rodney they got locked up and all this whatever. And then that's when we started taking over 15th Street. Mm-hmm. We started taking over 15th Street like really the 90s. The 80s we was creeping in. I'm talking about we were knocking on the door like 88, 89. Mm-hmm. The 90s we had 15th Street. Rennie was the man.
Now, out of all your cousins, who were you the closest to? Out of all your cousins, who would you share your clothes with when you wore something or you wanted to go to the go-go and you knew that person wasn't able to look sharp? He might look good, but when y'all went out, I noticed all y'all was sharp. I mean, like you knew if you had to add up all y'all outfits, it probably was like $4,500, $6,000 walking in the door with 15 of y'all or 20. Which cousin did you say, nah, you fresh, but I ain't going, don't put that shit on. Go in there, get my shirt, keep the jeans on, get my tennis shoes. What cousin did you gravitate out of all of them? Out of all your cousins?
Out of all my cousins, I was more close to TJ.
Okay.
Me and TJ bonded. Because our mothers were tight. Our mothers were best cousins.
Okay.
And so my mother and his mother, they made a pact. If one of them died, they was gonna take care of the other person's kids.
Okay.
So what happened was TJ moms died in '84.
Okay.
She was on drugs. Somebody gave her some rat poison because she used to shoot dope. Somebody gave her some rat poison. She shot it into her veins, and that's how she actually died.
Okay.
In 1984. And then 2 years later, my grandmother passed away. My mother's mother passed away in '86, February '86. TJ mother died August 1984. My grandmother, which is my mother's mother, passed away February '86. And so that's where him and I bonded. Like, I could relate with him with the death of his mother because he was close to his mother and I was a grandmother's kid. I was a grandma's kid. I was a grandma. Like, I love my grandmother. My brother William, he's a mama's boy. Mm-hmm. I'm a grandma. Like, I'm under my grandma. My grandma, man, my mother, like, my grandmother protected me from my mother. You know what I'm saying? Like my mother get ready to do something, I get on, hey grandma, I call like my grandmother had that relationship. We had a stronger bond. And like I say, my brother had that bond. And so we bonded and things like that. And we became like real close. Like, mind you, all of my cousins were close. All of us were close. But TJ was special to me because the relationship our mothers had.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And the rest of them became close. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Flick, Terrell, Wim, Binky. You understand what I'm saying? All of them became real close. All of them became real tight. But we wouldn't let nobody interfere with us when it came to wreck anything. You couldn't take nothing from us.
Yeah.
You couldn't. What you did to one, even though you ain't do it to me, you got to see me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But we bonded. We became real close.
So that's the one you would share your clothes with. And okay, so as you grew up and you and him bonded, I'm going to touch on him because you said you was the closest. All y'all was the close, but I'm going to touch on him. So you and him bonded the most. So as you grew up and got into your own streetwise, would you say that whatever you get, and if you can afford it, you gave it to him, or you gave him free reins of your closet as long as you wore it first, or it was just you just took care of him as much as you can, what he couldn't do for himself?
I mean, I looked out for him. Like I say, I fought all his fights. TJ he dropped out of school. I think TJ dropped out of school in the 7th grade. You know, I used to get him girls. I looked out for him when it came to girls. I love girls, so I wasn't trying to drop out of school. You know what I'm saying? He dropped out of school, and I don't know what he was doing, but he always, especially when we got to junior high school. That first year, them first 2 years, I was up his fucking school at least 2 to 3 times a month, man. Fighting fights for him. Now that, like I told you, I had no clue where this was going. I didn't see where, you know, the envy came down the pipe later. But I looked out for him, you know, from a respect, like, you know, like we were like brothers. Me and TJ became closer than me and my brother Wim, who I actually lived in the house with.
Okay.
That's how because we just bonded. Like, it was just like, I don't know, man. It was just, I felt like he was my long lost brother.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Even though we had different mothers, you know, but I felt like he was my long lost brother. That's how I felt. I really felt that way. I looked out for him. You know, I wouldn't let nobody do nothing to him. He could wear my clothes after I wore them, but I didn't mind. It didn't bother me. It didn't affect me. You know what I'm saying? Anything I had, I shared with him because I was used to sharing with my own little brother. You know what I'm saying? He was like our third brother. You know what I'm saying, in a sense?
So what was your experience when you started getting you some money and you ventured out from the neighborhood go-go's, which was Watkins, Payne, Lovejoy, and all the rest? When you started, what was your first experience when you first went to, let's say, the Black Hole? You getting a little money now. You get a little money. You're fresh to death. You know what I mean? The ladies loving you. You got a little rep. Now, by this time they calling you Kojack, or that came later on. But when you first started stepping on the porch at the Go-Go, was you Kojack or was you Dawayne or what?
I was always Kojack, man.
Okay.
Yeah, my mother had bought some grease. When I was a baby. I think I was like 2 years old, and she had wanted my hair to grow. And, you know, I had little patches as a baby. And she had ordered some hair grease from his True Story magazine, said guaranteed to make your hair grow. And the hair that I did have, she put the goddamn grease in my head. The grease fell out. It took 2 more years for my hair to actually grow in, to grow back or whatever. And so one of her girlfriends says I look like Telly Savalas, which was a TV show called Kojack. Telly Savalas was the main character, the main actor. They called Kojack on that particular show. And so they started calling me Kojack. And that was, when you heard the name Kojack, you heard the name TJ.
Okay.
Kojack and TJ. That's exactly what you said. Kojack and TJ. That was the name.
We gotta make sure we don't get none of that head grease. We gotta make sure we don't order that, baby. Okay. So back to give me a sense. Black hole. You fresh to death.
All right, let us deal with the black hole jump. Now, I used to always want to go to the go-go, It wasn't until November 1990. One of the dudes that lived right across the street from my aunt's house was Thaddeus. Thaddeus and Bob. Bob was another guy that I admired because he was real cool. He was always well groomed, and he could dress. Bob was fly. You know what I'm saying? But me and Thaddeus was real close. Like, Thaddeus really took me under his wing. You know what I'm saying? Thaddeus would be like, if I looked out for him, Thaddeus would treat me to the movies up Union Station. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we'll go up Georgetown and go shopping and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I used to get mad with Thaddeus because I'll be out there on like Saturday night. I'll be out there with him all day. Like, soon as he come out hustling, I'm right there. I'm right there because I'm trying to make sure he make his money, because he used to always break me off $30, $40, $50 in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just telling them if the police gonna come or whatever. And so on Saturday nights, I used to get mad because everybody would come through the hood. Everybody from like 1,000 Capers, the Gardens, Kentucky, course, would come through 15th Street. What's up? Even you had the dudes down 14th Street. On the other end, they would come through the 18th and D. You'll come through there. Hey, man, y'all going up tonight talking about the black hole. And, man, I'll be out there, and it'll be about 11:30, 12 o'clock. They'll be gone. And I'm like, I'm like 14 years old. And I'm sitting there like, dang. I wasn't even selling drugs at the time. I was just like, I'd just be waiting for them to get back in the house at like 3, 4 in the morning. Well, not 3. But like 4 in the morning, sometimes they'll get back in the house like 5 o'clock. I'm talking about Rennie or Thaddeus, and you know what I'm saying? I'll be waiting for them to get back in the house or whatever, and they'll be telling me about what happened at the club, who was there, Stinking Ink was rapping, man, these bad bras, Trina Boo, Lisa of the World, you know what I'm saying? All you hearing all of that, man. I'm like, man, I want to go. And he was like, man, he said, man, he kept saying he was going to take me. And so, I remember the day when he finally took me, because he got a crackhead car that night. Thaddeus had got a crackhead car, and he was like, man, Jack, you going up? I was like, yeah. So, man, I wanted, at the time, Guess was the outfit. And at that time, I was wearing a Los Angeles Raiders hat, a black Los Angeles Raider hat. Okay. I had on a black Champion sweat hood, similar to this, but I had on my black Guess jean outfit with my black Timbs on. I was all black. We was, that was the thing back then, trying to look like NWA. Man, we get up to the black hole. I'm small. I'm up there with the big boys. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting ready to go up in the go-go. But I was excited, but I wasn't excited because it was like, I wanted to actually get in the door first because I seen the security guards turning dudes around. You know what I'm saying? And the club was, the line was just crazy outside. It was crazy. It was just women out there. It was a lot of nice looking women out there. And I know these females were way older than me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just this little kid, 14 years old. So I'm like, we get up there. So the dude wasn't trying to let me in. So Thaddeus was like, man, what's up, man? How much I got to kick you? Thaddeus kicked him $20. I got through the line. Then he had to pay, I think, another $20 for me to get in. I was like, damn, you got to pay $40. But I know I was young. I was underage. You know what I'm saying? I'm 14. I get up in the black. And when I got into black, man, I gotta go back. I gotta be real with you. I used to love to go see Junkyard. I love Junkyard. I was used to Junkyard. Junkyard had his own crowd at that time. We talking about 1990. So when I got to see the Essence crowd, I was just like, I was in awe. I was like, oh my God, like the women were just, the bodies that they had on them, the way that they dressed, you know what I'm saying? They was much more flyer. The club was packed. And then seeing all of these different neighborhoods. Cause you know, like how we was, you know, everybody was individually in their own little hood and on their own little blocks, right? Mm-hmm. But when you got in the go-go, everybody was together. I'm talking about from outside of town. You had 18th and D, you had 14th Street, you had Trinidad, you had 15th Street, 1000, you had the Gardens, you had Capers. 1430, everybody was together, and it was just amazing because I got to meet some of these dudes and see some of these dudes. But the thing is, I gotta say this while I'm talking about this. This is what really made me and my cousins even more stronger when we started getting into the go-go scene. Now, mind you, like I explained to you, I grew up in Eastgate area. You know what I'm saying? Call Place. I grew up right in that area. You know, like when I was first born and stuff like that, till I was like about 7 or 8 years old. And then we moved to Congress Park for like four years. And then my mother, after 88, from 88 all the way up until about 92, you know what I'm saying? My mother was moving somewhere differently. Mind you, with her moving to different neighborhoods, I was connecting with different dudes. Mm-hmm. I was becoming cool with different dudes. Now, mind you, with Flick and TJ and them, they only knew 15th Street, the Gardens, Kentucky Courts. They only stayed in that area. Mm-hmm. With me going out of the area, and then you bring Terrell into play. Terrell knew Lincoln Heights. He knew Lincoln Heights, Clay Terrace, 58, 56. You know what I'm saying? He knew Eastgate, Simple City. And then with me living in those neighborhoods, I knew all of them dudes too. Then with me living at Congress Park, I bring with me where I know the dudes in Savannah Terrace, I know the dudes in Woodland, I know the dudes down 16th and W Street. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I know the dudes over Marlboro Plaza. I know the dudes over Minnesota Avenue. You understand what I'm saying? I knew dudes over Berry Farms. I knew all of that. And then when you got into the go-go and you seen all of these dudes and stuff like that, so when we started, you know what I'm saying, getting a little bit older, with me knowing all of those people and connecting names and faces, it made it easier for me when the beef kicked off. Like I told you, I never really got no beef on my own. I really didn't. It was always one of my cousins.
Okay.
So when they got in the beef, as I got older, you know what I'm saying, I started to learn a different approach, because you can't approach every beef with fighting. You can't approach every beef with gunplay. You just can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes a little conversation go a long way.
And I learned that from my man Steve Fuller.
Right.
My man Steve Fuller taught me that.
Good dude too.
He taught me how to approach a beef. He taught me. I got into a couple of beefs when I was in school or whatever. You know, and Steve, the way he approached it, and he talked it out. I never seen that done. I never seen nobody actually walk up to somebody. Look, I ain't scared of you. I know you ain't scared of me, but I'm telling you, like, look here, we can do this one way. We can do this one way, or we can do this the other way. I'm going to present to you the first way. We can squash this. You go your way, I go my way, and that's it. But if we gonna beef, we gonna get it on. I'm telling you, like, ain't nobody gonna get no money, ain't nobody gonna get no sleep, ain't nobody gonna do nothing. So when I started to take the Steve Fuller approach with squashing beefs, it just made my reputation even more. It go up even more because now I'm putting out fires without it becoming gunplay. I'm putting out fires without it becoming a fist fight. You feel what I'm saying? Because now it's like, man, dudes respected me. They respected me. And I enjoyed that respect. I even enjoy the respect till this day. Because a man is gonna be a man today.
Okay. Well, you say a man gonna be a man. Okay, now, as you going to the go-go, how was your cousin TJ? What was he coming now? Was he coming into his own of being reckless, where you had to put out more fires frequently, not only from school to the go-go's, or was he already, let's say, because I don't want to take you, I don't want to go fast because I want you to go real slow. Was TJ becoming a firecracker, or he was already lit already? Like he was just, every time you turn around, man, Kojack, man, your cousin tripping. Was he at that point going to the go-go's with y'all, or was he still little TJ just neighborhood trouble?
I mean, TJ didn't really become reckless until January the 4th, 1991. I could have had the dates mixed up. I believe it's the 5th of January, 91, where he stabbed me.
What was that for?
We got into, this is when I want you to understand something. I didn't know what jealousy was at that time.
Okay.
I didn't know this dude was jealous of me. I didn't know this dude was envying me. I didn't know it. And so what was happening was, during that time I had a cardboard that I used to keep female numbers on. I had numbers on the front and the back. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Mind you, I told you I went to school, so I'm talking to girls here and there, and I'm meeting girls and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And what TJ would do, when I would go over to his house during the weekend, he would go over to my house. Now I'm not even there, but my mother will let him come in.
Okay.
So what he'll do, he'll go in my closet. Sometimes he took some clothes out of it, and I eventually figured it out that he was stealing my clothes. But he would try to take my girls. The entire thing, the entire thing that took place with me and my cousins, and we're going to get deeper into the story, was over females. It was always over females that caused the fall of us, and it destructed all of us individually, even me. I'm not perfect. But he wanted to take my girls. He had his own girls. Like he was doing his thing and I was doing my thing, but we still was close up to this point. And like I said, I used to turn them on to girls. I wasn't caught up. If I talked to a girl and he wanted to talk to her and she wasn't my girl, hey, look, that's up to her. You know what I'm saying? A woman has to make that decision on her own. I can't say that don't do this and don't do that, because if you know how it is. If you tell somebody don't do something, they're going to do it. All right? Mm-hmm. So now, mind you, with him, he was already going behind my back. And then women started calling me, texting me. I mean, not texting me, I'm sorry. I'm using the wrong word. Beeping me. Because this is when I had my pager at the time. They were beeping me on my pager. And I would call them back. And I used to catch them, sometimes I'd be over their house, sleep. He going through my beeper. And I'm like, what is you going through my beeper for? Nah, man, your junk went off. He'll just say it went off. You feel what I'm saying? Not knowing that he didn't want the woman that he had, because he had girls chasing him too. He wanted my woman. So I had no issue with that. Now I'm getting what I'm saying. I had no issue with that. The issue became on January the 5th, 91 was this. He went through my phone. I had met this girl like 2 months before at Eastern Homecoming. Okay. In November. Eastern had a homecoming. I met this nice little bride at that particular time. I met this nice girl. And I was really, really liking Shawty, you know what I'm saying? I had just started, I was just like started having sex, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, I'm ready to go in, and then that was the thing that caused the rift between all of us when we started having sex around that 12, 13, 14 age. That's where the problem became an issue, and it led into our adulthood. But what happened was I booked the girl, I was calling her this and that, and then I returned her call because she pays me that day. And she was like, "You sound different." I'm like, "What you mean I sound different? What is you talking about? Like, we talk all the time." She was like, "Nah, you coming back over here." And then while I'm talking to her, he's standing right there. So he like, nah, she think you me. She think you me. Act like you me. Act like you me. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Act like him. I'm like, I'm confused because I'm on the phone with her. I know she know my voice because we've been talking for like 2 months.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But he is. I'm not putting 2 and 2 together. Mind you, I get off the phone with the girl. The girl want me to come see her. We catches the bus from over by Benning Road because I was staying with my aunt at the time. We catch the bus from over Benning Road, the W4. We caught the W4, and I think we caught another bus all the way over by 6th Street, Southeast, over there by Easto. We get over there, and it's me, TJ, my cousin Wayne. So we going in, but while we riding on the bus, they telling me what TJ did behind my back. TJ telling me too, "Nah, man, I had called the broad, man. She text you back while you was asleep. I was acting like you, and this and that, man." He said, "Man, I went over there and fucked her." I'm like, "Huh?
What?"
Yeah, he went over there and hit her the night before. But him and my cousin Win went. Right? So now I'm like, damn, she let them hit. I'm not tripping that she let him hit, but it's just like, damn, why would, like, I'm not going through your beeper. I'm not going behind your back. I'm not trying to sleep with none of your bras. I'm hitting what come my way. Mm-hmm. So here we go. We get over there. So I go in there. When we get over there, he like, "Man, she think you me, like, act like you me, blah, blah, blah." Because mind you, me and the bra just talking on the phone, but you know how it is back then. You catching feelings. Mm-hmm. You talk on the phone for a certain amount of time, you in your feelings. So, okay, yes, cool. Sir. We get over there. He go up there, TJ hit. I go up next, then my cousin go up next. Then we catch the bus on home. We catch the bus on, man. That's how we did it. Mm-hmm. We catch the bus on home. We get home. I go to the store. Mind you, at that time, like I say, I always kept a little couple of dollars in my pocket. And TJ, he ain't had no money during that time or whatever. I went in the store, I bought like $10 worth of junk food. I mean, went to the 7-Eleven, came back home. Mind you, at that time, I was living with my aunt. And the reason why I was living with my aunt, because my mom stayed in Maryland at that particular time. So with her staying in Maryland, my mother was sending me to a DC school. I basically was staying with my aunt under her address.
Okay.
Mind you, I'm sleeping down in the basement on my aunt's couch or whatever, and I bought all this junk food in the joint. I buys all this junk food. I put it in the ice box. I told my cousin William, and I told TJ that they can have some. I went on to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Because we was at the Broad House. We left our Broad House like maybe 5, 6 that morning. And caught the bus back across town. I go to sleep. I wakes up. I go use the bathroom. I come back downstairs. I'm going to go eat some of my junk food. Some chips. I think I bought some. I know I bought some sour cream and onion chips. I bought some Teddy Graham. Them little cookies. Because I just love them at that time. I just love them. And I bought a box of donuts. The powder. The powder, you know what I'm talking about, the 3 flavors. Man, I woke up, all my stuff was gone. I mean, every single piece of my junk food was gone. I spent and I didn't eat none of it. So I'm like, who ate my stuff? So my cousin William already know. William don't want no part of me. William like, man, TJ ate your stuff. So TJ like, man, fuck you, I ain't eat your stuff, this and that. I'm like, man, why did you eat my stuff? So I said, man, I told him straight up. I looked him straight in his face. I'm getting ready to lay down. I said, man, next time you do some shit like that, man, I'm gonna fuck you up, man. And I just laid down, thinking it was nothing. But see, with TJ was on the phone at the time with a girl. So he trying to impress the girl on the phone because I told him I was gonna fuck him up, that he could beat me, knowing he could never beat me. TJ could never fight. He's not a fighter.
Right.
So, mind you, I goes to lay down. When I lay down, this nigga hit me. Mind you, he can't fight. So it's like a person that can't fight. It's like a baby walking up to you trying to fight you, and they hit you. It didn't even faze me. He hit me. Didn't even faze me. I rose up on him like a giant. Put him on the floor. I started choking him. I said, nigga, don't you fucking play with me, nigga. I'll fucking kill you. I was choking him. Cause I'm like, why the fuck you gonna go on me for a bribe? I was already mad that he backdoored me on the bribe, but this wasn't the first female. I don't want you to get this. This was not the first time he did it. He did it numerous of times, but this was the time that led to the stabbing. So I got him on the floor. I'm choking him out. Mind you, at this particular time, Sonny Boy is staying with my aunt. Okay. So Sonny Boy stays in the basement, but he got a room in the basement. Sonny Boy comes out his room when he hears me and TJ fighting. So he like, no, y'all gotta take that outside. Y'all gotta take that outside. So I'm like, all right, cool. It's January the 5th. It's cold as shit outside. I got on some blue Guess jeans. And I got on my Air Force Ones. I ain't had no shirt on. I was like, I'm getting ready to whoop this nigga's ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to crush this nigga because this nigga think I'm a punk. He know I'm not no punk. He know it. Okay. So I'm getting ready to go outside. I'm going to the door. As I get to the door, I can hear my aunt on the opposite side of the door clinging her keys to get ready to open the door. But then, mind you, when we come up out of my aunt's basement, now mind you, TJ is in front of me. Mm-hmm. TJ went to the left. I went towards the right. Mm-hmm. I'm going towards the motherfucking front door. This nigga going back towards the kitchen. So now I hear my aunt keys clinging. Then I hear dishes moving. But at the same time, my aunt had just took her Christmas tree down. She had an artificial tree. So I grabbed the pole and I went to, instead of me, because I knew I wasn't going to get out the door in time, because I knew this nigga had a knife. I didn't see it, but I knew he had a knife because I heard the fucking dishes. Okay. I grabbed the pole, the artificial tree pole. I goes to go up the step. I'm going backwards. I threw the pole to try to take his fucking head off. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how the fuck that pole missed me. I lie to you not because my aunt's steps is not that big. Going up to where the bedroom's at on the 3rd floor. She got 3 floors. You know what I'm saying? We was in the basement. So mind you, I took the pole. I threw it as hard as I could. When I threw the joint, all I know is when I got to the top of the step, blood was coming out of me like water. It was just gushing out. Like it was just like spilling out like it was a faucet. And I felt all my energy leave my body. And I just laid there on the floor like I was just like I could feel myself dying. And I'm just laying there and it was nothing I could do. And TJ was still coming towards me. He was getting ready to finish. He was getting ready to stab me again. And my cousin Bobby came from out of his bedroom and he kicked TJ down the step. I heard him go down the step, but I couldn't do nothing. I was just, he stabbed me, which was an inch away from my heart. And so my cousin was like, call the ambulance, call the police right now. Like was sir. And I was just like, my cousin, he was my cousin like 6'6". He picked me up and he took me outside. It was cold, like it was real cold, but I just laid there on the ground, man. I just started talking to God, and I saw TJ, like they was arguing with him. They was like, why you do this? And I could hear everything they saying, but I was just looking up at the clouds, man. Everything was just becoming white to me at that particular time. And so after that, man, me and TJ relationship was never the same again. And TJ knew he couldn't call on me to fight none of his fights no more. You understand what I'm saying? And it broke my heart. It really, really broke my heart that he crossed me for a female And on top of that, he stabbed me, knowing that what he did was wrong. He got upset because I told him I was going to fuck him up. We don't got in a lot of arguments, but it never, ever came
to violence.
You see what I'm saying? So after that, that's when he started carrying guns. That's when he started carrying knives. You understand what I'm saying? Because he knew that niggas was more fearful of me than they are him. He didn't have no backbone as no fighter. He didn't have no backbone as a killer at that time. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody was afraid of him. They was afraid of us as a group.
As a family.
But individually, they know he ain't his heart was pumping Kool-Aid at the time.
Now, what happened on with TJ? What happened on 15th and C?
So
with TJ.
15th and C, the lead up to 15th and C, which was 1222 in my book. 1222, the chapter 122293. Which is 4 years later after he actually stabbed me. During those 4 years, after he stabbed me in 91, our relationship wasn't the same. TJ was he was in and out of Oak Hill. Oak Hill was a jail for the youngest at the particular time. He kept going in and out for little like UUV charges and stuff like that. Little stuff. Little minor shit. And so, you know, even then when he got locked up in Oak Hill, you know what I'm saying? My aunt wanted me to come and see him. I didn't even want to see him. I didn't want to be around the dude. I did not want to be around him. I didn't care for him no more. I had no more love for him no more. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I couldn't believe he did that shit. But what happened was my aunt called me and said he wanted to see me and he wanted me to come down there. And then he was writing me letters because dudes that I knew that knew he stabbed me wanted to fucking kill him. They wanted to stab him. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to fuck him up. And so he wanted me to come down there to, you know, to keep the dudes off him, to let them know that it was that, you know, that was just a little minor beef between him and I. I forgave him. You understand what I'm saying? That way the dudes would leave him alone. Mm-hmm. And so out of respect, you know what I'm saying, after giving it some consideration, I went on and did that. You understand what I'm saying? Because, mind you, a lot of dudes wanted to get him for that shit. So he came home, I think it was like 92. Me and him got into it. And one time we got into it. I talk about this in my book too, and then I'm gonna go to where he shot me. We got into two separate incidents after that. Just arguing. And it was over petty shit. Like, he wanted to try to control me. Like, I guess because he thought he stabbed me, I was supposed to be fearful of him. I'm like, you's a bitch. Like, I looked at him like he was a bitch. I'm being real. I had no respect for him. Like, even the stuff that he did, not only to other people, I looked at him like he was a bitch. Like, I know you. Okay. I know you. You can't fight. You only, every time he do something, he has to have the advantage on you. Meaning, like, he has to have a weapon.
Oh, yeah, sneak up
but
on you and stuff.
The thing about it is that's the only time he talks shit, is when he got a weapon. He ain't got no weapon, the nigga will walk off. He'll say some shit, he'll walk off. But if he got a weapon, and psychologically, you ain't even thinking about it. You just like, I grew up with this nigga. We don't wore the motherfucker same shoes, same underwear, same tank tops. You know what I'm saying? I can say fuck you to this nigga. But if you say fuck you to him at the wrong time and he got some weapon, and especially if there's people around, he's one of them type of people. He wanted that reputation so bad. He wanted that fear.
He want an audience.
Yeah. Mind you, I put in my work for mine. Now he's really trying to get a reputation, but then when he's still getting in beefs, after he stabbed me, guess who he coming to get?
Come
me. So here we go.
Now
let's go to 1222. Go ahead.
Keep this in mind. I want to keep that in mind. Where was Rennie in all this?
Rennie was around, but Rennie was just like for me, I don't know what Rennie did or said, but I got to get to this. Like I explained to you, we fucked ourselves up in my generation with my crew, with my cousin, women.
Okay.
Women fucked us all up.
Okay.
All of us.
Now get
Rennie was wait a minute. Rennie was dead.
Okay.
But this is what I'm saying. I thought that Rennie would be able to squash the beef between TJ and I.
Okay.
But he didn't. Mind you, I'm thinking because he's older that he'll be able to talk some sense to TJ.
Okay.
I don't know if he did. I don't know. But then by that time, TJ was a hothead. So I don't know if Rennie said something to him or Rennie didn't. But it didn't matter.
Okay.
Right?
That's what I want to know.
Get what I'm saying? It didn't matter by that time because TJ was just
off the hook.
He was off the hook. Like it was like after he stabbed me, then he went to jail. Like he was becoming reckless, like uncontrollable in a sense. Mind you, the night he shot me. You know, before he shot me, it was 2 months before that. I had this polo shirt that I brought from the store. What I would do was this, and I'm using this for an example. What I would do, and I bought the joint from Woody's. Remember Woody's? Yeah, Woody's was out Albertson Mall. I went out there and I bought the joint. I seen this polo shirt I liked, but it was this hoodie I wanted. It was a hoodie. Now at this particular time, I'm working. I'm a stay in school for in high school. I'm working. So I'm just working. I'm not selling drugs or nothing at this time. I'm just basically just working. So what I did was I went and bought this shirt. But what I would do, I would go buy the shirt, keep the tag in it, and then put money to it to get what I want. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted something more, if I saw something. So what happened was I saw this sweater, and what happened was I bought the sweater. But I wanted to take the sweater back. I wanted to take the shirt back, take the shirt back and get this hoodie. Because the hoodie that I wanted cost it like $220 at the time. So the shirt that I bought was $90. Right? So I was going to put the money to that and take the shirt back. But what happened was TJ asked me what I had in the bag because I had drove through my aunt's house at that time. He said he wanted to buy it. So I said, man, I'm ready to take it back. So I was like, man, look, the joint $90, the tag was still on it. I told him I was ready to take it back because I said, I'm ready to go get this hoodie. So he was like, all right. So at the time he said, man, I got $30 on me. I give you $30 and I give you the $60 later. So I was like, all right, cool, ain't no problem. So, being as though he gave me the $30, I still had enough to go buy that particular hoodie. Okay. Right? I still had money in my pocket to go get the hoodie. I go get the hoodie. I put the hoodie up because I said I'm gonna wear this for a special occasion. You know what I'm saying? When we go out to the go-go, that's where I had it at, right? So I go with. So mind you, he paid me the next week. He gave me $30, so he still owed me $30. This is in October '93. Mind you, he owed me $30. I never asked for it. I never asked for my money. He knew he owed me. I knew he owed me. I said, I'm gonna let him pay me when he get it. It's $30. Mind you, come up to 12/22, you know, I decided to go ahead and put that hoodie on that particular night. I had just, I'm just as fresh. Got on the motherfucking $200 20, polo hoodie. Got my jeans on. I got my Deion Sanders Nikes on. They're fresh. They go with the joint. Like I'm ready to go out and go get some bras. I'm ready to go to the go-go and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm fresh. Right. So I pull up on him. I'm like, hey, what's up? What's up with you? You know what I'm saying? But I got Flick, baby mother, in the car at the same time because what happened was I wasn't even supposed to even go up there to ask him for my money. That was not the intentions. I was driving my mother car at the time. I was going to see this broad. I was going to have a license at the time, but I was one who had a license. Make a long story short, my mother told me I could use her car, but she told me that I had to go over to my aunt's house first. and pick something up for her. So I go to my aunt's house. If I'm not mistaken, I know I had to take my cousin to Seven Heaven. I took her to Seven Heaven, but she was in there long. So I said, man, let me go and see if TJ home. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if he got that $30 because I never asked him for it. It's 2 months later. Right. I ride around his house. I go in there. So when I go in the house, I see the shirt on his bed. I say, so he must be getting ready to wear the joint. So I left it like that. So I leave out. But when I leave out, Flick, baby mother, asked me to take her home too. So I'm like, all right, cool, wait a minute. Let me ride up 15th Street from that house, from my aunt's house, and stop and holler at TJ. I'm gonna drop Keisha off, then I'm gonna turn back around and go pick my cousin Liz up and then drop her off, and then I'm gonna go to the bra house. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get me a quickie in before I go to the go-go. So mind you, when I get up 15th Street, TJ coming out of the curry out. When I pulled right up there, right on the corner on 15th and C. I pulled right on the corner and I stopped. So when I stopped, TJ was hustling. He was serving a crackhead at the time. So I was like, what's up? So he said, what's up to me? So I said, what's up? I said, man, you got my money? He was like, what money? So he started walking towards the car. He had on a black leather jacket with a little black, I forgot the name, the little black Gaddafi. What is it? Gaddafi?
Like the Muslims you wear.
Yeah, he had on one of them. He had on some blue jeans. So he like, what money? I'm like, so I'm putting my car in park. I'm sitting back like, nigga, you know you owe me $30. I'm saying this to myself. So I put the car in park when he like, what money? I'm like, man, the $30 from the shirt. So he like, man, I ain't paying you nothing. I'm like, man, look here. My mother I had money. I had just got paid for my job. Mm-hmm. My mother just gave me $500 for Christmas. Mm-hmm. So I go in my pocket. I pull my roll out. I'm like, look, dog, here go your $60, man. You ain't taking shit from me. And all I saw was the nigga pull a gun out. When I seen him pull a gun out, I'm just like stuck. I'm froze. I'm saying to myself, like, I'm giving this nigga his money back. Right? And I seen him pull a gun out. I couldn't move. I couldn't do nothing. I seen this shit was just like in slow motion. I couldn't see shit. I seen everything he did, but I could not move. When he pulled the gun out, my face just froze. I was just like, this nigga about to shoot me? Like, I seen the whole thing happen. It was like, I could have taken off in the car, but I couldn't because it was just like, I couldn't believe here we are and this nigga getting ready to shoot me. I was just like, I was stuck. And when he pulled the gun out and the shots ring off, I think the first 2 bullets hit me. And you know, during that time, you know how we used to do. We used to like to ride with the seat back. But I was sitting up. But when he shot me, I sat up like this. I felt the bullets hit. And after the first 2 shots, I could hear the shots, but my ears was ringing real loud. And then I could feel the bullets moving through my body. And I could feel the bullet from my back traveling because it traveled under my arm, and I'm like paralyzed in a sense, and I'm stuck. But at the same time, I'm still in disbelief, and I seen the gun cocked back. I seen the smoke from the gun because he shot like 10 shots, and I'm looking at him like, nigga, I'm gonna get your ass. I'm gonna get you.
So he ain't just shoot you. He was trying to annihilate you in that car.
Yeah, he did.
So what happened to Flick's girlfriend?
If she didn't put her head down, she would have got shot. One of the bullets had hit, I think, both of the headrests. A bullet went through the headrest. Bullet went through the door. A bullet hit the gas tank on my mother's car. Couple of he shot. I think he shot maybe both windows out, if I'm not mistaken. He definitely shot. Yeah, he did shoot one of the windows out. But
so this your cousin.
This my cousin.
Ain't no nigga on the street.
This is my cousin.
this your cousin that you ride or die for. He stabbed you and then tried to come up the steps again and try to stab you. Your uncle saved you that time by him kicking him down the steps.
Yeah, my cousin.
This
my
time,
older cousin.
he shot you. But really, he tried to annihilate you if he shot you. If he shot 10 times in the car, he was trying to destroy you. Over $30 because he ain't want to pay you $30.
Yeah, man, he had a bankroll in his pocket. I seen he had a knot
You
in
hear
his
that, Will?
fucking pocket.
Family, we.
He had a knot in his pocket. He had a knot in his pocket. And like I say, man, till this day, man, that lesson taught me I do not take jealousy lightly with anyone. If I see that jealousy, I back the fuck up off you quick. Because I'm not the type of person, I don't compete with nobody.
So after he shoots you, what happened to him then?
So what happened with him then was this. It was the most painfulest thing that I had to do. Like, to be truthfully honest and to be raw about this situation. I can't go as deep as I want to. I can't go there. And that's just one of the things because I gotta protect I gotta protect one person. But I have to say this. What took place between TJ and I was something that brewed from my mother's generation. If that would have been resolved the correct way, the right way, that incident would have never happened. Now, when you looking at your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you look back and you look at your parents, you look at some of the decisions that your parents had to make for you to be still standing here today. In my experience with looking back at my mother's life, looking at my dad's life, I'm like, damn. Because as a kid, your parents don't tell you shit. The older you get, you started finding out stuff that you should have been told, you should have been aware of. You not even knowing that your parents are putting you in harm's way, right?
Right.
And this is something that I know that my moms could have allowed it to be avoided with me, with going through that experience. But because my mother didn't do what she was supposed to do, the universe brought it back in her face through me and through him. Mm-hmm. And then I had to deal with it because my mother didn't deal with what she had to deal with when she was dealing with in her generation. Because they call it a generational curse, right? Mm-hmm. A generational curse is when your father or your mother do not do or correct what took place in their life, and they just basically leave you out there, and all of a sudden their karma catches up with you, right? Mm-hmm. You don't know how karma's gonna come. You don't know it. But I have to say this, and I'm gonna say it this way, because I want to say this to my mother. My mother sit back and she look at me and my brother and she say, look here. My kids, my boys could have been successful. My boys could have been football players. My boys could have been basketball players. But I look at my mom and I say to my mom, and I'm looking into the camera right now, Mom, you put us in the same environment that you didn't succeed in. You put us in the same environment that you did not succeed in. And so with my mother putting us in that same environment, not even looking at it, her dropping us off during the weekend, that played a big role. That took away from our growth. Because in my mother's eye, she thinks she's doing the right thing. But for real, you put me right in the same environment that my father grew up in. What you thought was going to happen with me? And that's why I titled my book, Reputations Fade Away. Because guess who had to figure it out? I had to figure that shit out on my own.
This the book, ladies and gentlemen. Dwayne Williams. We're going to give you all the information to get this book, Reputation Fade Away. Go ahead.
So what happened with TJ after that, he went to jail. He went to jail.
For how long?
What was that, 93 or 90? No, he went in 94. I think he came home 04. So he did 10 years. Yeah, he did 10 years.
What was he charged with?
So what he
said what he charged with, the producer, what he was charged with.
What he actually was charged with is with shooting me.
Was it attempted murder? What was it?
Attempted murder.
Okay.
It was attempted murder.
Okay.
And so, I mean, he actually was supposed to get 5 out of that, but then he got into some stuff, and you know, he wound up getting stabbed while he was in jail. He wound up stabbing a couple of dudes, and his time got extended. And then he came home from there. He came home in I think 04, if I'm not mistaken, and then that's when all hell broke loose.
Now, in the mix of him, 94 to 04, I'm gonna ask this question. Did he reach out to you and apologize and say, man, why he was so envy and jealous of you through the years that you showed love? At any point from 94 to 04, at any time, letter, he told his aunt, he told your mother, he told a cousin that came to visit him, that man, tell Kojack, man, that I'm very sorry about our relationship, man, and I was wild and whatever. Did he ever reach out to you during that 10-year time?
He never apologized when he stabbed me. I was upset with my mom's because, you know, my mother and his grandmother, which is my Aunt Bet, they made him apologize. It wasn't genuine. It wasn't from his heart.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? You could see when he stabbed me, that envy and that jealousy was still there. You understand what I'm saying? He knew he fucked up when he did it, but he didn't know how fucked up he did it. Like, literally, I could have had him killed. I could have killed him myself several times. I thought about it. It was so painful for me to make that decision. This is my best cousin. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, I understand.
I got my mother begging me not to kill this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? One time I went to the store and I had a gun in my coat and I forgot. My mother asked me to go get her some Newports. I go to the store, get her some Newports. I come back in the house, you know, I got the gun in my coat and I had to use the guy, I had to do a number 2. So I'm in the motherfucking bathroom. My mother like, where my cigarettes? I'm like, it's in your coat, like not even thinking. I come out the goddamn bathroom. She like, what you got a gun for and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know damn well you know what I got a gun for, Mom. Like, what else? I gotta protect myself. Nah, give it to God, man. And I'm like, at this point, excuse my language, man, forget God. Forget God. This man don't came at me twice. I'm not giving this man a third time. Okay. And I thought about something 2 years ago. I said, what if my mother had my back? The whole time, my mother was telling me to do something I didn't want to do. I want you to get it. I'm saying it in so many words. I'm doing what my mother's telling me not to do. That don't want to do. I'm doing what my mother's telling me to do. I don't want to do it.
Okay.
I don't see no other way to do this.
But to protect yourself.
You see what I'm saying? I want to kill this nigga. My father want to kill this nigga. I got family members that want to kill this nigga. I got niggas calling from jail. Give me the word. I don't want nobody to do nothing. I want on myself.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
But I'm sitting here saying to myself, looking at this, looking at all this shit, that I'm thinking from a feminine perspective. Because guess who I got in my ear? I got my mother in my ear. You know damn well I love my mother.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cross my mother.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But the nigga never apologized. He did send a letter, but that shit didn't matter no more, man. You did something that you should have never, ever fucking done. And if he would have never went to jail, he would have never probably built them emotions up to even say he was sorry.
Or if he wouldn't have never went to jail, you don't know if he would have tried to kill you again. But
Yeah.
this time, he gonna sneak up on you. You never knew. Now, hey,
Yeah.
have you ever experienced that in your family?
No.
No, I'm talking about the envy, jealousy of what we talking to Mr. Williams here today. Like, they don't want to see you win.
If I did, I was probably naive to the fact. So, no.
No. Okay. Now, William, let me ask you this. At any time, did your aunt and your mother ever intervene? Now, I'm talking from before the stabbing. I'm quite sure that when y'all got into it, as a parent, I can see, do I got to separate these two? Do I got to tell one not to come around for a minute? Or what's going on? From the time, do you think, when you say what you say about moms, do you feel that her and Aunt Bet could have intervened real early and made it clear between y'all two that this ain't going down, or one gotta go and can't come around no more? Do you ever feel that could have prevented, if that would have happened?
I wish it could have happened that way. I mean, like, it's emotional thinking about it. And I say it's emotional because my mother looked up to Bet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's her aunt. That's my mother's sister.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But Bet helped raise my mother.
Okay.
So I didn't like the role that Bet played because Bet had more influence over my mother thinking than I had when I got stabbed. I told my mother what happened. Bet told her that like the story was just fucked up because she's listening to TJ's point of view. I know what the fuck happened to me.
So do you think TJ always had what word I'm trying to use? A soft spot when it came to your mom and Bet because of his mother passing and the way she passed, so they think that they had to baby him more. Now don't let me take it away from what he did. All I'm saying is, do you think when he did something worse than all the rest of y'all, he got the benefit of the doubt because he lost his mother at an early age? And you gotta understand, he might be still going through withdrawals. Did you ever think of that? Why Aunt Bet kind of took his side a little bit more?
Yeah, I believe that they both did, but I still think that my mother should have used her better judgment. Because get what I'm going to explain to you. My mother kept putting me in position. Like, I don't want to go around the nigga.
Okay.
I don't want to go to bed house no more. Now, by this time, I'm motherfucking 14, 15. I don't have to go nowhere I don't want to go. So I started staying on my side of the bridge.
Okay.
I wasn't even really trying to come over that side of the bridge. You see what I'm saying? Because I knew he was on that side, right? Now, mind you, my mother is still like, Bet would use my mother's car. So there will be times where my mother asked me to drop my aunt home. Or there will be times that my mother asked me to go to Bet house and take her to the store. So my mother kept putting me in the environment. You get what I'm saying?
Where you can bump into him.
That's what I was trying to get to him. I'm like, I'm not understanding my motherfucking mother's thinking because I don't want to be around him. You see what I'm saying?
But she putting you in.
She putting me right there, and I'm like, I don't even want to be around. Like, she don't know how I fucking wrestled with getting ready to kill this nigga. Look, I could have easily killed him. In my motherfucking mind, I'm thinking I'm gonna walk in Bet house. I'm family. Walk right up to his motherfucking room and shoot him right in his room. I thought about it a motherfucking 2 million times of doing it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I thought about that shit. And I don't think that my mother, nor Bet, but I'm not even tripping off Bet. My mother should have understood my psychological trauma that I dealt with. And not put me in that environment. So, at all, period. So, I felt like my mother took more sides with my aunt and more sympathy with TJ, and she thought I was just gonna be okay because she said a prayer, and that didn't happen like that.
Now where was your brother in all this?
I was a victim.
Where was your little brother in all this?
My little brother was around. I mean, my little brother
was he ready to attack TJ?
Man, every single one of my cousins. I mean, I don't know Rennie thoughts, but the rest of my cousins wanted them. They wanted me to give them the word. I had to talk them out of doing it. You feel what I'm saying? What I was trying to do was not incriminate myself, but also get everybody to drop their guards. Because I was going to do the shit. It wasn't no if and no buts. Like, I never let no nigga disrespect me. I don't shot niggas before. I know how it feel. So with me experiencing shooting niggas before,
right?
Here I am. I'm getting ready to kill. Like, this nigga ain't coming up. I'm gonna make sure he dead. The other niggas I shot at, and I wind up shooting. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That was on some self-defense. Where like nigga back the fuck up.
Okay.
Type shit. Whereas in his case, this nigga tried to kill me twice. You don't think I want him?
So when the time that he went to jail from 94 to 04, I'm going back to that. What kind of person you say in the 10 years that he was gone? What kind of person you say you were? Was you back in your party mode, going to the go-go, Metro Club, the Maverick Room, the Ibex, what they call the trade winds? Did you get back into your go-go mode and your girl mode, or you stayed angry for a long, long time? And it took you a while to get back to Kojack. From 94 to 2004, before he came home.
I was trying to find myself. Like, those were the after he went to jail, man, it was rough for me in a sense.
How rough?
It was rough because I was trying to find myself. Like, I eventually lost my job. I felt like I lost my respect in the hood. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't want, because I had started selling drugs, in 95 again. That's my second go round, but I just didn't want to do it no more. I was just like lost. Okay. I wanted to make something of myself. I wanted to be something, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was tired of being broke. This is when I began to really get into spirituality.
Okay.
Into religion. And that helped me cope with what took place with me. But I want you to Get what I'm saying? That was traumatizing. I didn't even realize how traumatizing it was.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And I did not get help. I healed on my own through the course of my journey through writing my books. My books became therapy and therapeutic to me. As I began to write that story, that began to allow me to see the mistakes that I made and to see the people and the characters that have came across my path. And it allowed me to get to where I am. Now, get what I'm going to explain to you. Somebody will sit back and say, man, nah, man, well, him and his cousin got into it. He snitched on his cousin, this and that. Get what I'm going to explain to you. Before we come to this planet, right, I want you to get this. We all come in here with a purpose. We all come here with a purpose. My purpose was to write that book. I used to read on the 3rd grade level in the 8th grade. I couldn't read nor write. I didn't know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to become. All I knew as a child, and I'm talking about I learned this at a young age, that I wanted to be a better father than my father. I never knew that I was going to be betrayed by my cousin. I never knew that I was going to be stabbed and shot twice before the age of 18 and stabbed once before the age of 18. I never knew I was going to experience those. I never saw that. But the universe, and you may call it God, doesn't matter. I look at it as the same thing. The thing is that the universe saw that I had a purpose to tell a story and to share that story, to share my testimony so that I could be able to help other people that have experienced what I experienced. But I understand my life from a bigger perspective now. The things that we do not handle, we do not take care of while we are alive. The things that we may ignore, you understand what I'm saying, could be passed down to our kids. And that's how I look at my story. I don't want to leave my kids, when I leave this earth, with the burdens of my karma coming back on them.
Okay. Okay. That's deep. Now, this is what I want to know. When he come home, you say 04, right? First of all, let me tell you a story. When your mother bought that house, again, coming from the streets, I know Rennie, and I know all you little motherfuckers. Y'all motherfuckers deep. When your mother bought that house, Slim, when I saw you, I went in the house and said, Mom, there go the fucking neighborhood. I said, just like that. She said, boy, what the hell you said? I said, Mom, we got them. Mom, I'm telling you, they bought 100 deep. They bought Tony grandmother's house. Right? I said, the block gonna be fucked up, Mom. Them boys be going hard, you hear me? Y'all move in. Stop me if I'm wrong. 6 months later, it was Christmas. Rennie coming over your house. I'm on the porch. Niggas start shooting at your house from the bushes. I said, see, Mom, I told you they're gonna fuck this block up. Simple as that. That's why every time I used to see you come outside and see you, I used to always try to grit on you. I said, man, y'all keep that shit up Bay Street, man. This is a community around here, man. I said, man, them motherfuckers deep. That first, oh shit, them motherfuckers around here. You remember what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, somebody did. I remember that.
And Rennie died through the window.
Somebody shot up. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was in the kitchen at the goddamn time. All I heard was my cousin and my brother and all them busting through the door and jumping on the floor, and we never found out who did it. But I mean, you go up, you look on my mother's steps, you can see some of the bullets in the steps, because you got to walk up a flight and then you walk up another flight to get on the porch. And then in the brick wall is a few bullet holes in there. I remember when that happened. We ain't never found
That
out who did
motherfucker
it.
was hiding in the bushes by the swimming pool. Y'all with the swimming pool. I looked at y'all and I said, "Oh God damn it, them motherfuckers done fucked up the neighborhood." But get back on track. It's 04. First of all, when you found out he was coming home, what was your state of mind? When you found out he was getting ready to come home, when did you find out that he's going to get released? And how you felt?
What happened was I got a visit from Flick. And Flick came over my house, and that's something Flick don't do. You know, I catch Flick in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Flick don't come to my house. At that particular time, I was staying out right there off of Marlboro Pike in Maryland.
Okay.
Or whatever. So Flick don't never come over there. He came over there, man, and he started talking to me. And he said, "I want you to hold his gun." I'm like, huh? So he's like, yeah. So he gave me the gun first. Told me to hold it, right? He said he ain't had nowhere to put it. But he gives me the gun, and then he tells me, "Man, TJ get ready to come home next month, blah, 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 blah." But for real, Flick gave me that gun because Flick really wanted me to kill TJ. That was the
mindset of
this is what he was planning. See, I had no clue that there was a beef going on between Flick and TJ because, mind you, TJ and Flick was locked up together. But Flick came home before TJ. But they were beefing. I had no clue that there was a beef between them.
beefing in jail.
In jail.
2 cousins.
No, mind you, Flick is TJ's uncle.
Okay, well, TJ's uncle, cousin, let's get it right, his uncle in jail when you need family the most, you beefing?
They say TJ was robbing dudes, man, and he stabbed some dude. He got mad from what I heard, you know. He was mad with Flick because Flick ain't roll with him. Flick was like, "Man, I'm ready to go home. I'm trying to go the fuck home." You know what I'm saying? Flick wasn't trying to get into that shit. Flick was trying to get the fuck on home.
Okay.
And that's what Flick did. Flick got home. Flick ain't roll with TJ. TJ went on the roll, and so when by the time TJ come home, Flick is the man now.
Okay, now, the day he come home, when was the first time you encountered him? If he came home on a Monday, when did you see him? If he came home on a Monday.
I think I seen him maybe a month later. And I didn't see him on the block because, like, I was staying away from the hood. You know, I go see my mom's, but I was just like, I wasn't even attempting to try to see him. What happened was I was on the subway one day. I don't know where I was coming from. I don't know what I had to do that day, but I was riding the subway. At that time, I was driving, but that particular day, I took the subway somewhere. I don't know where. And I had my car parked at my mother's house. So I rode just where I was coming from. I was on my way to my mom's house. And I'm on the subway, and I'm walking down the aisle, and I'm getting ready to get off the subway, and I look over, and he looked up at me, but he was trying to hide his face. He was trying to hide this side of his face because he was sitting, you know, this way, and I'm right here. And so I could see, because they said he got stabbed. They told me he got stabbed. He had whoever stabbed him. It was like under his eye, came under his chin or his cheek or something like that. It was a long scar under his face. And so when I looked at him, he looked at me, he said, "What's up?" And I said, "What's up to him?" So he was like, He said, yeah, man, I just got home. He said, man, I'm coming from the halfway house, blah, blah, blah. And so that was that. You know what I'm saying? I got off at Potomac Avenue. I guess he got off at Stadium Armory, which is the next stop or whatever. And so it kind of like, I kind of was like thrown off guard. You feel what I'm saying? I was just like, damn, he, you know, like he really, really home. I ain't know what his demeanor, I ain't know how everything was going to play itself out. But by that time, you know, I was married at the time. My daughter was here. My daughter was like 3 years old at the particular time. And I was just basically, you know, just trying to stay out the motherfucking way, man. You know, I was just doing what I was doing to keep my life going.
Now, did you Now, I know you just said that your cousin gave you the gun before he came home. He warned you. Was you strapped for a minute when you saw him in the flesh? Was your intentions now every time you come around your mother house, Bet house, or you stop past anywhere in that neighborhood, 17th and Independence, did you feel like you had to be strapped?
I felt like I had to be strapped. I did have a gun at that time, but I wasn't in the neighborhood, and then I didn't want nothing to happen because I know I got an unregistered firearm. I know I got an unregistered gun. So if I'm gonna bring that motherfucking gun out the motherfucking house, I'm using it. It's gonna be for use. It ain't gonna be me just riding around, going to the motherfucking store, going to Popeyes. I wasn't in fear of him like that. My thing was just, you know, he in that neighborhood, you know he in that area, just, and you live in Maryland now, just do your thing. Just go to work. You know what I'm saying? Just come home and chill with the family. I had a family now. You know, I'm a married man now.
Now he home. I seen him a couple times. What's up, OG? Mind you, I knew y'all as like hyenas. Y'all rolling packs. So I never even thought that he was anything like that. When you first heard that TJ started doing what he was doing in the neighborhood, ain't got nothing to do with what he was doing outside the neighborhood. The tragedy that came to the hood when he came home. When you first heard the first person, and everybody was going around saying TJ, did you feel then, I'm gonna keep this Joan on me? Unregistered. I don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. This unregistered, yes, I got a daughter. Yes, I have a wife. If I want to continue to see them and come home to them, I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna stay away, but I'm gonna carry this joint because eventually you're gonna find out where I live at or where or the surroundings. Or I got this joint on me because if I go around my mother's house and you look at me funny, I'm gonna bang his ass out. I'm gonna put him to sleep because you heard about the first victim. And you already knew he wasn't going for nothing now. He home on a vengeance. From what I heard, he got jealous of Flick because of Flick he felt that he should have been where Flick was. This is what I was hearing when the first victim got dealt with. That he was on a vengeance to come home and take his place as the top cousin in the family. Like, where Flick is, where Kojack is, that's where I'm supposed to be. And I'm going to kill anybody or anything that stopped me from getting in my way. So when you first heard about that, what was your thoughts then about carrying that gun? What about, you cared about your daughter and your wife at the time? What was your reaction when you first heard about the first victim?
I mean, I had no clue that he was doing all the stuff that he did in the neighborhood. I mean, he was on some Wayne Perry type shit, you know what I'm saying? And I was hearing shit where people was getting shot and stabbed and shit like that in the hood. I didn't think it was him. I just thought maybe they was beefing, because there were beefs with other neighborhoods that my hood, I'm not on the streets no more now. Get this, I'm not on the streets in 04. You know what I'm saying? I really left the streets in 95, but my family's still out there. So being as though they still out there, I'm still connected to hear what's going on, but I don't know who's doing what and things like that. So I heard beefs over the years, but when all of that was happening, I'm just still thinking that, you know, stuff's just still playing itself out. They probably went out to the go-go, had some words exchanged between some dudes and whatever. I didn't know it was TJ. Mind you, I was just trying to do, like I told you, I was trying to do my best to avoid a third confrontation with my cousins. So what I did was, I came up with the idea to have a sit down with all my cousins. I called it truce. It was me, TJ, Rennie, Flick, Terrell, Pelham, Man, Mikey. All of us had a sit down right there on 17th and Independence, man. And I said, man, look at, man, I ain't got no beef with none of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here to go back and forth. I explained to them, like, what fucked us up as men. What fucked all of us up relationship-wise. Because none of us really fuck with each other. Let's keep it real. As much love and as close as we were when we were kids, we don't fuck with each other. Because somewhere along the line, somebody fucked another person's girl.
Okay.
When we thought as kids, get what I'm great saying, when we first started fucking, it was fun. But then when dudes started catching feelings over certain females,
it started
getting getting personal. So get what I'm going to explain to you. I realized that I had to still be the better man in this situation. And what I was trying to do when I called to sit down with my cousins was like, look, whatever y'all got going on out on these streets, I'm not out here. I'm not the savior no more. I'm not Superman no more. I can't have one foot in the street and one foot out. I can't do that. I'm not out here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know none of y'all beefs. I'm just here as your cousin to let y'all know I love each other. I talked to TJ, man to man, in front of all of them, man. I forgive you for what you did, man, but I told him you can't do that again. You understand what I'm saying? I looked him straight in his eye. You can't do none of that or whatever. Squad said, so Flick and TJ, that's where I saw it for myself that there was a beef. Hidden, but open. Meaning like, wait a minute, hold up. Because there was words exchanged between them. And TJ, one of them motherfuckers, he probably had a gun on him or near. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but when we talked, all us hugged, we shook each other hands, man. We made peace, and I felt like I could move on. And this is when I began to write this book.
Right.
I had already started writing this book right here before he came home. So that gave me even more motivation to just stay the fuck out the way, because I wanted to really see my dream. I wanted to see something that, put it like this, I just wanted to see my dream come true. I wanted to see this book right there that talks about everything I'm talking about, that explains everything I'm talking about in deeper detail and more detail than what I'm telling you. But like I say, I thought that we had laid to rest how we have hurt each other, you know, because I wasn't the only one that apologized. A couple of them apologized over certain little things. You know, man, you right, man, I was wrong. You know, not to go into detail, but like I said, man, the problem with us, man, was that we was a bunch of boys that grew up. We started hitting girls, having sex with girls, but then we started running G's with girls. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't understand what G's is, it's like a gangbang. You know what I'm saying? One of us will get a bride, all of us will have bride. So we grew up with that mentality as young kids, having sex, not realizing. This is when I stopped doing the running the G's with them. With my cousins was that one time I was not there, and one of the girls called rape on them or whatever, and I was like, nah, I don't want no beef like that, because the girls that we did run a G on, they was with it. Like, they were every day. I'm like, every day after school. I'm talking about when I was in junior high school, dog, they'd be like, we got such and such. The bride would come back from school every day, and we'll go over there and, like I say, when they got the rape beef thrown on them, I said, nah, I ain't fucking with that, because I knew I could get a woman one-on-one.
So what high school you come from?
Eastern High School. I went to Eastern. Then I got shot. Then I got locked up that year, 91. In October, I got locked up. And I got locked up. And I got, I'm trying to think. I can't even think right quick. I'm going back and forth. But I got locked up in 91. And then I got shot. I got shot in my leg. That's what happened. So my mother decided to transfer me. And I went to Anacostia from November the 1st, started going to Anacostia in 91. And then I went to Anacostia my 10th and my 11th grade. And then the 12th grade, I got my mother to transfer me back to Easton, because I really wanted to graduate from Easton. As much as I love Anacostia, Easton had more women. I love women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's my alma mater. You don't mess with them Anacostia people, man.
Yeah, Anacostia.
On that Minnesota side. That was that weak side until I got on that side, until I moved on that side. But I just want to let the people know what high school you graduated from. Like I said, he's the author and writer of Reputation Fade Away. It is going to go on his site. We're going to put it on there on WEETV and films. But, okay, now, we're going to get right back to TJ. Now, when he was doing his thing, when in the hood, when Rennie was around, everybody felt safe, because TJ come out there and he was humble pie. I've been out there a couple of times gambling in the alley, the alley. Rennie out there doing the thing. And every time Rennie would leave, you hear TJ done something to somebody. You understand what I'm saying? That was the thing. Wherever you saw Rennie, people felt safe because TJ was out there. And then they stopped coming around there unless Rennie was outside. Because they know, I'm assuming, see, this is, you giving us insight. I'm giving you outer sight, meaning what I saw on the outside. That I think that's why everybody in the neighborhood put Rennie at the top dog, because when he would come outside, certain situations wouldn't occur unless he leave with your cousin. Now, when you started hearing, now, what I want to jump to, what I really want to jump to, and I know it's going to be a painful situation, because I know you and Flip was close, and did Flick ever tell you that your cousin was trying to extort him? And they say, man, I'm getting tired of, let's use me, Lamont, keep approaching me. He see me in the go-go, keep asking me for money. See me around Aunt Bet house, ask me for money. Kojack, what should I do? Did he ever, before that situation came, speak to you before that, the day before he, God rest his soul, passed away, that warned you that your cousin was on his neck? that his nephew, right? That was his nephew, right? That his nephew was on his back.
Yeah, he did. What happened was, I was at my mother's house. I think this was maybe a week or two before Flick was killed. And one thing about Flick, you can tell when he's stressed. You can tell when something is bothering him. Like he just looks out of place.
Okay.
And so I'm like, man, you all right? And so my brother was down in the basement. And so Flick was just like, man, you know, I was like, what's going on? He was like, man, this nigga TJ. And he started telling me that, you know, TJ did this to Pep and TJ did this to Mike. And I'm like, huh? That's when I started finding out that he was the one that was doing all this stuff that was going on around him.
When Mike.
So I'm sitting back like, for real? I'm like, damn, I thought, you know, I didn't think he was
When he told the man
back on them terms.
He told the man come to the car, Slam. Like he was trying to holler. Hey, let me holler at you. Like, I'm gonna come good.
But think what I'm going to explain. See, this is what I'm saying about TJ. Yes, he was a killer. But look at the dudes he shot. Look at the dudes he killed. He killed no-name dudes. You not a... this is what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying that...
I know what you're saying.
Get what I'm saying. I respect every person. Rest in peace on the souls of the people. And I don't want this to be taken the wrong way. Most people that are killers kill other killers or dudes with reputations as a killer or a shooter. This dude was killing people that didn't even want no part of it.
Working people for
real.
real.
They was just everyday, natural, want to get along, respectful dudes. He didn't go kill nobody that was really a threat to him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It was nobody, them dudes was no threat to him. That's all I'm trying to say.
So
and that shows you the psychological mind where he was at.
So when your cousin was down the basement explaining to you what your cousin was doing that you didn't know he was doing, and basically you couldn't believe that he would do it to his... Basically, he was killing his own cousin. He was extorting and robbing and was willing to kill his own cousins. And like you said, gamblers, but they was working class dudes that hung around the hustlers. We hustle. He went to work every day, but he hung on the block with us. Them was the type of dudes in the neighborhood he was killing. But he was extorting. When you heard of that, when Flick came to you and told you how you felt about that, did you feel that you should have got rid of that dude when he stabbed you? Did you feel like when he stabbed you, right, prior to that, prior to all this, did you feel like when he did that to Flick, was it somewhere in the back of your mind said, you know what? I should have killed that bitch ass nigga when he stabbed me. So I'm saying, when he crossed me, because niggas don't cross me like that. See, you was giving him a pass because he family. But in your back of your mind, when he shot at Pelham and he did that to Flick, did any time in your mind said, you know what, if I would have got rid of that bitch ass nigga in 91, 92, when that bitch ass nigga stabbed me, I would have peeled that nigga block off. None of this wouldn't even have been happening.
All right, I'm going to say this. I want you to cut this part. Now I'm saying I got to get ready to go. Yeah, I got to get ready to go. After I answer this question, I got to get ready to go because I got to get ready to drop my son home. You can start back recording.
It's recording. I never
So, okay, here we go, right?
But still cut this part.
I've always...
No. He's saying cut where he's saying that you gotta go.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I've always thought that. After the smoke cleared, when Flick got killed, he killed Flick and Man in the same day. There's been plenty of times I sat back and I thought, like, the universe put it right in my lap.
To get rid of him.
To get rid of him. Maybe none of this would have happened. But the biggest thing with me, the way that I was programmed, I want you to get what I'm saying. The way that I was programmed as a kid, I never wanted to go to jail.
Okay, nobody.
I never wanted to go to jail. From seeing my, being honest with you, seeing my father behind jail, behind bars so many times, going to visit him and stuff like that, I never wanted to go to jail. I felt like hearing the stories that my dad did tell me, and my uncle, who was also, he did 30 years in jail. The stories that they told me from what they experienced made me not want to go to jail as a kid. I'm talking about under 10 years old, stuff that they were telling me then. So that made me develop the mindset not to want to go to jail. Going to jail was one of my biggest fears because of the stories I heard from my dad and my uncle, right? I want you to get this.
Okay.
Even to this day, and there have been several situations I got into with several guys. If I got to kill somebody, man, I'm going all out. I'm not going to jail. That's not a place I want to be. I don't want to be sitting, rotting, and somebody telling me what to do and what not to do and this and that. But to make a long story short, man, did I think about it? I thought about it several times. But I know it would have broke me. Now, I want you to get this. What I experienced with TJ when I was 14, when I was 18, my other cousin started experiencing when he came home from jail in 2004, and he came home in 2004. That's when Rennie started to experience it. Even though he ain't shoot at Rennie, Rennie was scared of goddamn TJ. Fuck what you talking about. Rennie wasn't trying to get in TJ business. Flick wasn't trying to get in TJ business. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Pelham wasn't trying to get in TJ business. TJ knew if he did something to my brother, he knew what was going to happen. Terrell, he knew what the fuck was going to happen. He knew who to fuck with. Don't you get it fucked up. He knew who to fuck with, but I'm not going to tell you that he had no boundaries. He had his boundaries, and he had his boundaries with whoever he chose to do it with. But he also knew. He knew. Man, this shit is just fucked up, man. I wish that none of this shit would have happened. TJ was the bad apple out of all of us.
Because when he did what he did to Flick, he come home to Aunt Beth's house and act like...
Yeah, he ran them out of there. Because Rennie and Flick was still there. Rennie and Flick got the fuck ghosts. They got out of there. They left him in there. My aunt was so scared, my aunt let him stay in the house by his damn self. That's and this is the person that they baby. This is the person that they put on his pedestal. And then he came back and bit them all.
So you telling me none of them wanted to go in the house when he came home from prison?
No.
Even after he killed her son,
she didn't want to.
She should know.
She didn't want to. Beth didn't want to believe that he killed Flick. I knew. I was at work when I got the call. I was at work. I was working for Maryland Park and Planning Commission in Montgomery County. When I got the fucking call on my cell phone, I knew TJ done it. I knew it. I knew it immediately when I got that fucking call. He did it. Because no, listen to me. People in that hood know the consequences if they would have did that to any one of us. They knew the consequences.
That's facts.
They knew the consequences was going, like, they didn't want that. But, like I say, we destroyed ourselves from within. And TJ was the rotten apple. And when I got that motherfucking call, I knew it wasn't nothing you could sit here and tell me he didn't do it. It was nothing you could fucking tell me.
He saw his uncle in the go-go and made him go home, get money, and he followed him home to get the money and killed him. You get that, Wee?
He was
I met you in the go-go, Wee, and I pulled up on you and said, come on, let's go home and get that money. Soon you give me the money, I kill you. But you my uncle, though, Wee. And then I go back to your father's house like nothing was done. Then I go to your funeral.
Came to the funeral.
You understand what I'm saying, Wee? All this man endured, and he wrote it in the book. Reputation Fade Away, 1 and 2. You understand? 1 and 2. WEETV and Films. We're going to give you all the information on these books. Dawayne, he has to go right now, but we're going to chop it up with him some more on other things. But before he go, I just wanted to say, man, when you wrote these books, you said it was therapeutic, but when you saw your finished product and you see your daughter and your son grow up, do you ever think that your daughter or son will read this book and get some idea on what you went through and what not to do and what they can come and talk to you? Do you ever tell your daughter, you can come talk to me about anything or anybody? When you wrote this book, did you write this book for your children to read when they grow up?
Yeah, my first book is dedicated to my daughter. My second book is dedicated to my son.
Okay.
And I did write it for them. When I wrote my first book, definitely my first book.
Okay.
You see what I was going through in the process of writing it. I was still wrestling with having to kill my cousin, something that I wrestled with for years. But during the process of me writing it, I said, if anything happened to me, I want my daughter to be able to read this book and be able to see the life and what I experienced and see how important it is that I take fatherhood. It's nothing that I don't care nothing about money. I don't care nothing about material things. I don't care nothing about my reputation. Get what I'm going to say to you. My reputation is being the best father that my father was to me. None of that other stuff don't matter to me. I love being a dad.
Now
I love it.
What you had me do last year, he wanted me to write a book almost 16, 17 years ago, but I had told Dwayne, say, Dwayne, you know, you've been on me all my life, man, and a lot of things that I know, I can't write a book because my book will be false because I'll be lying. I told you before when you wrote this book, you more man than me to tell your truth. You know what I'm saying? You more man than me to tell my truth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't make no mistake. I'm around two guys that know me personally from my interviews and all, from my days in the streets. So this guy right here has a lot of courage, and he got my respect because he did something that I couldn't have did 16 years ago. It took to convince me to tell my story, and even then, I had to filter. You know what I mean? I want to say thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
And this is not the only interview. You know, we gonna bring you back like Lil Boosie. You know what I'm saying? We gonna bring you back like Lil Boosie. Now, before we get out of here, is it any more books coming out of Dawayne Williams, or you going movies, play, maybe I don't know what's coming next after these 2 books?
I can't tell you what's coming next at the moment. I haven't received a call from the universe to write another book at the moment.
Okay.
But it is very, very painful, very therapeutic to write a book. And I told the universe that I cannot write another book based on my life. It's too painful. You have to reveal sides of yourself that you want to keep hidden. I think that in both of my books, I've exposed a lot of things I didn't want to share. Then there's some things that I did want to share that I couldn't share. You know what I'm saying? Because of the people it may cause problems with. But I did the best with what the universe gave me. My gift and my purpose was to come into this world and to write them books, to experience the things that I've shared on camera today, was to share this, to share it so that it will help someone. And so I'm hoping that this story is able to reach as many people as possible. I don't know what the universe has in store for me right now, and I'm just focusing on just being a better individual, a better human being, a better son, a better father, a better uncle, being a better man in for the public. You understand what I'm saying? I love black people. I love our people. I love learning history. I love learning about our culture. I'm very supportive of supporting black businesses. And my thing is that I don't know what the universe is going to have me to do. At this moment, I'm just basically focusing on being a better family man at this moment. That's basically it.
There you got it, ladies and gentlemen. It's Big L, Mayor of the City, on WEETV and Film. And I'm out.